Avsheni, darlings, good morning. I wanted to share a quote with you that coincided with me being taught a very wonderful lesson about all the ways that we may think we're harming someone else or taking or keeping from someone else, but actually are doing equal harm to ourselves. And it was a quote by Soren Kierkegaard, and it says, "The most painful state of being is remembering the future, particularly the one you'll never have." The most painful state of being is remembering the future, particularly the one you'll never have. I met a lady in 2018 who was going through a deep heartache because she had just separated from a man whom she believed was the great love of her life, the father of her daughter. They had a 5-year-old. I think the daughter was 5-year-old at the time, 5 years old. And he had shared his truth that he is gay, that is homosexual. And I remember how this quote and her coming to me to share that story almost feels like it happened all at once. And I immediately felt a heartbreak in a way that, if you break up with somebody, if you're the same sexual orientation, I suppose there's always that hope that something can happen to bring back that person into your life, if it's meant to be, etc., etc. And yet this was so final. And what also grabbed me so much about the pain of it was that her partner was free. That for him, that whole experience of love together had been a suffocation. And it's not because he's a bad person, it's because of us, society, the people who hold hate and prejudice to an extent that we make it a law, a rule, and we tell great lies about how people cannot return to home, to their creator, if they are a certain way. I remember when I had a podcast in 2021, and I spoke about, I don't know what it was about, but it included sexual orientation. And I remember being so stuck at saying the word straight, calling someone straight, because in a world of opposites, if I am straight, what is someone else that is not? Do you know what I mean? And I don't know if it's just me, but even phonetically, the word heterosexual sounds softer, acceptable, or perhaps it's just the meaning that we have projected onto these words, or in the ways that we created these words. But yeah, I've always struggled with that word. So if I'm straight, then what is someone else? Anyway, and the reason why I was able to feel how free he was is because at the time I had a soulmate around me whom I had known since we were young kids, adolescents, and he is gay, and I realized how all those experiences that so many people are allowed to have your first crush and talk about it, and I mean, think about your first crush, how you and your friends talk about him or her all the time and how to bump into each other, all of it. And I know that it's so exciting to see videos of children in schools being so free to express themselves and to explore themselves and discover themselves. Because before, if you were a girl and you had a crush on a girl, you couldn't talk about it. If you were a boy, or so how many people are not living their truth, and how many people and brava manage to live their truth, but after so many struggles, after struggling, you know. And I looked at, going back to the story of the woman, I looked at her and I felt her pain because I, she was suffering from cognitive dissonance, because you could see she kept going through her head, but when he did this, when we did that, was it not real? You know, questioning herself. Sorry. H2O, baby. You know, you think of how memories are pretty much what makes the human experience over time. That's what we have. That's why it's so important to live so unapologetically in the present and to be yourself all of the time. And when you look at all the ways that we have allowed these rules and these things to be said and to be entrenched and to come to define us to a point that families reject their children if they are homosexual. Unconditional love. You know, one of the things about religion, which I always, it takes a lot for me to stay in balance when I encounter someone say, I don't have a problem with them. It's just, my religion says it's wrong and I believe it's wrong. And there are so many things I believe that religion says is wrong. And I've heard people say, oh no, they know this, but they believe otherwise. It's just so convenient. It's so convenient to know that people are being murdered, they're dying. I'm still stuck at that first love experience, at the first crush. When my friend, when I was going through this learning and this full understanding of how this prejudice against people because of their sexual orientation, how it hurts all of us, because you have parents, mothers losing sons and daughters, fathers losing sons and daughters, brothers and sisters losing, best friends. Just because someone chooses to love someone, it doesn't hurt you, it doesn't hurt me, it doesn't hurt anyone, it doesn't hurt them. It takes nothing away from the economy. The most painful state of being is remembering the future, particularly the one you'll never have. We all deserve to be happy and to live our truth. Every act of prejudice keeps love from us, and as much as we're trying to keep it from someone else, it keeps it from us. It stops our growth. It makes us small. Alrighty. Love, hugs, giggles, and always forehead kisses. Thank you for your time. Let's be kind.